Welcome the students of class 8. Welcome to our social science history class. And today I am going to discuss the rest of the part of the second chapter. It is from trade to territory. And the name of the subunit is the Battle of Plassey. But I have written the Battle of Buxar because previous class I have already discussed about the Battle of Plassey and what happened after Battle of Plassey. Now today we are going to discuss the Battle of Buxar and what happened after the Battle of Buxar and the significance of Battle of Buxar. So let's begin the subunit. So what happened after the Battle of Plassey? That soon company discovered that the puppet Nawabs were not always as helpful as they wanted to be. After the Battle of Plassey, they gained a huge amount of compensation from the Nawab of Bengal, Mir Jafar, and also they continued their free trade and they also got a lot of privileges on their trade and commerce, and they continued their private trade also. Then what happened? But Mir Jafar soon realized that to fulfilling the demand of East India Company, the Bengal treasury was almost finished and nothing was there, and it is a great revenue loss as well as, and this is a complete ruin of Bengal economy. So then when Mir Jafar protested, then company deposed him and installed his son-in-law Mir Qasim. When Mir Jafar opposed the British East India Company to give more concessions, more money and compensation every year, every month, so then he was deposed and his son-in-law Mir Qasim he was at the time the ruler of Bihar. He was installed as a Nawab of Bengal. So Mir Qasim opposed, but Mir Qasim also soon realized bad effects of free trade on Bengal economy, and he was not a puppet ruler. He was a independent, young and independent and energetic ruler. He always wanted to establish his own control over the Bengal politics as well as economy. So that's why he opposed the British East India Company, the activities of and demands of British East India Company. And another important thing, that Mir Qasim abolished all the duties from the Bengal trade. Then what happened? The Indian traders now got the benefit of free trade. Now everything is, all the trades they're going through the Bengal became free, and the Indian traders now got the opportunity to trade in Bengal without any taxes or any duty. So it causes a great loss for the British East India Company. The traders of Bengal now got the privileges, and they can continue their trade without any duty in Bengal's ports. And by this decision, the British was mostly affected because they received the permission to trade duty free in Bengal. But now, and they got monopoly, and some goods they traded in Bengal without any competitors. Then British East India Company became furious and they led their forces against the Mir Qasim. And in 1763, in several battles, Mir Qasim was lost from British India Company, and he persuaded the Nawab of Awadh to join with him. The Nawab of Awadh at that time was Sourav Ray. So Sourav Ray also persuaded by the Mir Qasim to join with him, and as well as the Shah Alam II, the Mughal emperor at that time, also joined with Mir Qasim, and together a joint force of them faced the British forces in the field of Buxar in 1764 AD. But this is a decisive battle. On the battle, now the Battle of Plassey, it is actually not a battle. So very few persons died in the battle, and the rest of the forces of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla, and in the leadership of Rai Dullab and Mir Jafar, did not participate. But in this case, The British came with a huge force, and it is a decisive battle. A lot of people died, and British now saw their supremacy and their power in this battle. And in this battle, the forces of Mir Qasim, Sujatullah and Shah Alam II, the triple forces, defeated by the British East India Company, the forces of British East India Company, and Mir Qasim was died in the battle. So what happened after the battle? Now the oppositions were removed. Now Mir Jafar reinstalled in Bengal as Nawab, and he also forced to pay 5 lakh rupees every month to company as a war compensation. And so with this battle, they understood that it was not effective with the perfect Nawab. And after the death of Mir Jafar, what happened? Now they look forward. Now they wanted more money. So that's why in 1765 they also received the Diwani of Bengal from the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. Shah Alam II already defeated in the Battle of Buxar, so he was nothing to do unless give the right to collect revenue from Bengal to the East India Company. So from Shah Alam II they received the right to collect revenue from Bengal, and this is called the Diwani of Bengal. You already know in previous class. And what is Diwan? Diwan at the Mughal administration, there are 2 types of officials. One is Diwan and another is the Subadar. Subadar is the administrative head of the state, and Diwan is the financial head of the state, and he was in charge to collect all the revenue from the state and send it to Mughal Emperor. Now East India Company became the Diwan of Bengal, and in Subedari they imposed the son of Mir Jafar, Nizamuddaulah. Now what happened? The Diwani allowed the East India Company to use the vast revenue of Bengal. This is the very important thing they got. This is the most important thing they got. But because before 1757 AD, it had to buy most of the goods from the subcontinent with gold and silvers called bullion brought from Britain or their American colonies, because at the time they had no goods to sell in India. At that time they had no goods to sell in India. And most of the goods and commodities they purchased from India. So that's why they purchased the spices as well as Indian cotton and silk textiles. And to purchase all these things, they brought the gold and silver from Britain and give it to Indian merchants, and in terms and against they purchased those things. But what happened after the Battle of Plassey, and more precisely after the Diwani, they received the Diwani that now the revenue from India could finance the purchase of cotton and silk textiles. Now the revenue collected from the Bengal, Bihar and Odisha could finance the purchase of cotton and silk textiles, and previously the gold and silver they brought from Britain was totally stopped. No need to brought their own gold and silver from their own country. Now they can finance their trade from the country where they wanted to purchase the goods. It is very beneficial for them, and it is also helpful to maintain the company troops, the huge soldiers, the powerful army they maintained in India, in every parts of India, and it also helped them to establish the various forts in Calcutta, in other parts of India, like in Bombay, in Madras, the Fort St. George, the other ports, and all the parts of the Indian subcontinent. They made several forts and offices. And also appointed a lot of officials, revenue collectors and agents. So all the costs were financed by the revenue collected from the Bengal. So this is the importance and the significance of the Diwani received by the East India Company. And with the revenue, they started conquering the Indian state. They started annexing the Indian state one by one by using various policies. You have already read. Now next class we'll discuss about the how company become nawabs with a huge amount of revenue and as well as the wealth, and they become wealthy. That's all from today's class. Hope you have understood this subunit. See you in the next class. Thank you for watching.